Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Ancient Legends Challenge. In the last episode, Belle's inevitable battle with the Balance Bear officially began, and if this was meant to be a test of her leadership, she is doing an excellent job. I'm thinking that today is going to be our very last day with the Balance Bear behind us, as long as he stays in her shadow. But I mean, ever since he locked eyes with Belle, for some reason he has been intent on destroying her family. She didn't really want to get herself involved in this battle at first, but she couldn't leave the babies unprotected. And it looks like you may have found a little friend over here, Sapphire? Oh my gosh, we can't even click on her because the bunny is on this tile. Well, Hydra, you might have to do something about that. Go ahead and swipe at that bunny for us so we can teach little Sapphire how to hunt. We actually still have to give her her first gem too. There you go, little one. So you should be ready to go hunting for her tribe when we make it to the next island. She's definitely going to go with us. She's young enough to hopefully keep our tribe alive. But some of our other creatures aren't really interested in the move. Like Tota back here, who would just prefer to stay behind and sing with all of her bunny friends. We're going to bring her over to the stump so that she's right next to one of the hot springs, and she can still sing for any wanderers who might be around. That was how we discovered little Lala after all, so who knows, maybe some of her family is still out there looking for her. Sorry again about my voice, I am still sick today unfortunately. I thought it would be a little bit easier to record today, but clearly it is not, so we'll just try to get through this as best as we can. Now we have Sylvia back here, in her hot springs, so she's nice and toasty warm. She took a little bit of damage from freezing the night before, after it started to snow again. Poor Kareem is going to be in for quite the journey. He's trying to make his way over here too because we want him to go on the ports as well. But Sylvia is going to stay behind with Fern, who I would imagine is very suspicious of Sylvia by now. She looks so much like the sister that she lost after all of the trauma with Avo. So she's going to try her best to keep Sylvia safe. Maybe we'll have her come over here again so she can gaze down on her territory, gaze down on her son as he leaves. His dark red fur is like a flame in all that snow, so she would definitely be able to see him. Yeah, we'll have her just stay right on top of the stump. And I guess, Sylvia, if you can get some good hits in on this walrus deer, you might as well take them. Maybe we can pick up one extra feast before we leave. So I'm not sure if we want to bring our creatures closer to the Balance Bear yet. I feel like they should probably stay right here. Maybe we should have a little baby toddle off of the stump though, just so she doesn't draw any unnecessary attention. I mean, if there's any possibility that the Balance Bear is going to go for a weaker meal, he probably will. So let's have Pip maybe come over here to start carving out a pathway, as his brother catches all the bunnies in his shadow. It seems like you're attracting quite a few bunny visitors as well. I think they're happy with us. Typically the bunnies act as our guides, and they do seem to be ushering us in this direction. Maybe they're even ushering us toward Melody, because the hope is this warmer climate will bring us closer to the heat body. So I was also thinking that maybe Dewdrop could act as the next generation's teacher. Since he is the son of Skitty, who taught all the children before, I feel like it would be a pretty fitting role for him, and Skitty unfortunately is just too old to make the move herself. So this might be a good opportunity for her to set him on that course. As perhaps he pounces away for one last bunny morsel, because he knows that his mother is a little bit too weak to take care of those. She is much more suited to digging after all, and he's going to be just as skilled. Ah, looks like you can come way over here and dig up this root for us. That way he can have one last morsel to remember you by. I think we'll have Lala go ahead and pick up some of the extra nesting material, clear out some of the snow. I'm not really sure what she's going to do though. It's pretty clear that the two twins aren't as interested in her as she was hoping. She's not really sure how to snag their attention. Maybe she's going to see if she can find her family on this island after all. But there we go. It looks like the Balance Bear did go after Belle. Well, that had me nervous for a second. I saw that Lala took damage, but it's just because she has the common cold. I know how that feels, Lala. I'm right there with you. Yeah, I feel like she probably considers herself to be a little bit of a burden right now. Maybe she thinks that's why the boys aren't interested. So I can't imagine that she's going to stray too far away from the hot springs, which is kind of sad because she's such a beautiful creature. I did see that somebody passed away though, and I have a sneaking suspicion that might have been poor Sylvia. Oh, she just couldn't make it through the night. It's too bad that we don't have any purse-snouts in our tribe. I'm not sure that we even have a way to mutate the purse-snout at this time. We've only licked 4 creatures out of 30. Yeah, unless we manage to find like some random stinky fruit trees on this island, I'm not sure if the purse-snout is going to be in our future. It sure would have helped us in this case though. And now I'm sure that Fern is feeling more alone than ever. Well, at the very least, we can have you just keep collecting that nesting material for us. That's going to help us out quite a bit. I guess it's just her maternal instinct shining through for that big family she always wished she could have. Oh, and I just remembered, Dukareem, you actually need the blue gem right in the middle. The blue is what we use to signify the hammertail, and he does in fact have that secret weapon. So let's start bringing him a little bit closer to the rest of the tribe. We're going to have to bypass those roots, unfortunately, because the closer we can get, the faster we can move through all of the snow, the better. So I wonder if he's close enough to see the skirmish by now. Maybe that's what's drawing him closer. I knew I would have drawn Anareem closer, and since they're so connected, I wouldn't be surprised. So 14 days remaining. Belle, you should be able to take care of this balance bear all by yourself. You can even collect all of that delicious meat for us. So there we go, the balance bear has been officially evicted from the mountain. Your tribe is victorious once more. Now all that's left is for you to guide your families straight over to those ports, and then we should be leaving for Melody's Island, hopefully. So many of the creatures who have the heat body in their genetics are kind of being pulled in this direction, and I'm sure that's part of the reason. We know for sure that Ivory is going to go, and she has the heat body hidden away as well. I suppose thanks to all of her big help during this balance bear battle, Belle might even name her second in command. Her little heir to the family, I guess. And as for Snowshoe and Amanda, who both did an excellent job taking down the balance bear as well, perhaps these two could be her saber soldiers. It would be very reminiscent of Anareem and her soldiers too, so that's probably where she's picking up that tradition, but she's certainly not as firm as her mother was, so I don't think we have to worry about a repeat. And since she is feeling a little bit tired after all of that battling, maybe she could ask Ivory to start guiding everybody over first. And for that matter, we have all of these shells here too. I wonder if Snowshoe would develop a particular love for the shells. It would be just like his father, right? I'm pretty sure that his father was stone. Yeah, and he had that hammer tail too. And I believe he learned from his father how to crack those open. So it's the family traditions taking over once more. Yeah, if we could have Amanda... Oh no, she's getting colds? Okay. Maybe we could have her skitter into the hot springs for a moment. We have one up here. I suppose Ivory could always guide her over. But you know, she could also scoot this way to pick up the snow, and then you should be able to hop right in. So you two can spread the word that it's time to leave. And oh my goodness, Dewdrop, we don't want you getting separated either. Oh, the poor thing, all of these creatures are so cold. Thunder, you might have to go back just to make sure that he's okay. We don't want the poor little guy getting stuck out here. We've had enough of that trauma. And we know that Skitty has trained you better anyways. Though, to be honest, she's not faring so well right now either. Let's have Lava pick up some of that nesting material. Then she could scoot back here too. So hopefully she can help guide the older creature to the hot springs on the next turn. I guess we might as well use a couple of turns to sing out on the stump with Tota. 1 turn for singing and 1 for warming yourself up. Are your bunnies still out here? Have they left you? No, there you go. At least one of your little bunny friends is still around. Oh my gosh, and I just noticed too, we have nearly 500 pieces of food. Oh, that has to be a record for our tribes. Maybe we can go a couple of days without worrying about collecting. So let's just break through the snow and go. The more that we can flatten down now, the better. Now that all of the snow is starting to pile up again. And likewise, I wonder if anybody could actually reach out to Dukareem. I suppose we could bring Hydra around this way. She's probably just trying to make it easier for her daughter to pass, but this might be a good way for us to introduce him to the tribe. Now, I'm almost positive that the only creature who's actually going to recognize Dukarim would be Belle herself. All of her other siblings have either left or passed, and I know that her children didn't know their grandmother. So the question is, how is she going to react when she sees this creature stumble in from the snow? Is she going to say something? Or will she try to keep quiet just so nobody gets concerned? I'm not sure. It's a tough call to make, especially because she just gained this other family's trust. The last thing she needs to do is worry them over whether or not her mother has been reincarnated. I'm wondering if we should leave Ivory right here just to warm everyone up. I think we might do that. So that means all of our turns should be used. Let's go ahead and skip the day again and cross our fingers that no more challenges are coming our way. The bluebird I can deal with, but no more balance bears, please. The thing is, all of the snow makes it easier for them to hide too, especially if any ram foxes spawn. Oh, but even worse? Oh no, we have a rogue male in the middle of us? Well, I wonder if maybe this rogue male has noticed Lala. He is wandering right around her hot springs after all. Maybe she caught his eye, and he just doesn't know how to impress her. That would be quite the twist of fate. Well, we do need to lead them back to the hot springs anyways. And I mean, Skitty is on her final day, so even if the rogue male finds her instead, I suppose it wouldn't matter. We'll have her go ahead and shovel out the snow. There you are, the most majestic of deer. Oh, he's kind of cute, actually. If not for those deformed paws, he would make an excellent member of the tribe. Yeah, I wonder if maybe Lala and this rogue male are just going to start a family once all of our tribe mates leave. It's nice to have closure like that for the creatures who aren't coming with us. This does also mean that we'll have time to move Amanda and all the rest out of the way. So as we give Dewdrop his final gem, maybe scoot him into the hot springs as he goes. We might have to have Pips shovel out a little bit of the snow for us. There we go. You can warm yourself up and you can join our tribe again. And of course, how excited will he be to see so many expectant mothers out here? Belle still needs to give birth to her baby. We have Hydra, who is also expecting. But how are we going to get to Dukarim now? If we don't have him cross the gap now, he might never get the chance. So claw your way through Dukarim and then jump into the hot springs for us. And then after you warm up, it should be smooth sailing for you. We might even have Thunder come up here instead to dig out a little bit more of the snow. Maybe in fact Hydra has heard something rustling up here, something splashing in the water. She's a little bit concerned, so she's going to ask one of their guards to investigate. That way we can bring her over here, she can warm up between her leader and her little baby, and we can have Thunder open the one remaining gate between them. So I guess Belle might not even see this baby until they're all the way over to the ports. Oh, that is going to be such a shock for her. And it's not as though she can really turn him away, because despite everything, she truly loved her mother. She would probably want to bring him along just because of that memory. As a child, she wanted nothing more than to impress her. She wanted to gain her mother's approval so she could someday take the crown. But Anarim never really paid her too much attention. So just look at her now, Anarim. Look at her now, clawing her way to these ports. The very first one to set her claws down. She's ready to lead the tribe on to their next great adventure. I think poor Fern is even feeling the cold back here. Oh, you poor thing. Go ahead and warm up again. And then it all should just be down to our brand new budding little family. And of course Tota too. Let's have you spend your turn singing on the stumps again, though I think our only visitor is probably that rogue male. Yeah, and he's making quick work of these bunnies, it seems, chasing them all around the territory. I think they're gonna make a pretty happy family. We'll have Skitty settle down in the hot springs just like Lala wanted her to, and then you can focus on gathering a nest for your babies. So let's go ahead and skip the day again. Hopefully for one of our last times. The longer we stay here, the more likely we are to see danger. But thank goodness everything looks okay so far. So Thunder, now's your chance to guide Dukarim down to the rest of the tribe. We'll send him straight out to the sea, where I'm sure Belle is going to notice him before long. And then you're going to have to follow pretty quickly too. We'll settle all of the boys together. That way they can warm each other up, because they have been struggling as of late, so the boys better learn to stick together. If anybody was to grow suspicious over Dukarim's arrival, I feel like it would probably be Hydra. Her father was one of the ancients after all, so she's probably heard the stories of this dark red warlord. Not to mention his name too. Like, I wonder if he would give himself a different name? Maybe he would just call himself Duke or something? Otherwise, I think it would be a little bit too obvious. And I mean, considering how he abandoned Fern way up in the mountains, I wouldn't be surprised if he does want to shed his family as much as possible. So he doesn't want that connection looming over his head. Now let's just make sure that we move everybody so they're all huddled together. We'll bring Belle right to the front, of course. She can start carving away some of the grass. Ivory can join her right at her side as her second in command. And then we need to bring her saber soldiers up here too. I guess Amanda's going to have to settle down right here for now. And as for Sapphire, if she sits right here, she should be nice and toasty warm. So that should be it for this family. And then I think we just have you guys back here. Tota, as always, calling out for a mate of her own. Somebody other than her little bunny friends to play around with. I wonder if Lala would even hear that. I'm sure that eventually those two are going to cross paths. But for now, just to make sure that she's okay and that she doesn't pass before we leave, we'll settle her down in those hot springs. Everybody should have full energy after this. So maybe if we shuffle a few creatures around, we'll be okay. Let's just make sure no balance bears, no ram foxes, no final challenges for us. Alright, so it's just a matter of getting the boys over to the ports now. Unfortunately, they're not the fastest bunch, so they might need one extra day. But our tribe is looking better than ever. Even little Sapphire's all grown up too. So as Belle sends Ivory over to do a little bit more cleaning around the ports, maybe now would be a good time for them to share some stories. Like stories about their roots, about the initial reason why this journey began, which was all about the ancient legends, of course. And they have come a very long way since those first few days. Now they're only missing 2 genes in their arsenal. I wonder which one of these creatures would know those stories best? Like, most of these creatures are now part of the ancient families. Maybe it would actually be Dewdrop? That could make sense. I think he's the most removed from some of the ancient families. And aside from that, he's also the baby's teacher, so I could see him being a very, very good storyteller. So we'll scoot Amanda over here. Maybe she could settle down right next to her brother. That way they're side by side. And right next to their leader too. Then we'll move Dukarim next to Belle. Yeah, she's gonna keep very, very quiet. She doesn't want to alarm anyone. Now it's just a matter of waiting for Thunder to climb his way up. So let's just very, very quickly scoop up some of our last materials. We could have Fern jump in here, maybe grab this bunny for us. And then little Lala, I'm sure you have some nesting material to gather too. There we go. At least you two will never run out of nests. Oh, and how fitting that Tota's still with her bunny. One of our last glimpses of Tota and her bunnies as she sings with them on the stumps. Maybe she never attracted anybody new to her side, but I think she'll be happy here nonetheless. So one last time, let's skip the day, and let's get ready to pull Thunder straight up on the ports. If we could have Ivory scoot up here so she's right in the front again, Thunder can settle in between them. Everybody can form a nice big warm ring around him too since he was so cold. There we go, so I think we should be ready. We'll just have Fern gather up the last of that meat as one of the final souls on this island, and Tota can sing her final goodbyes to us too, calling the bunnies down from the cliffs. Now we might as well at least see what this island is going to be like. It's going to be a warmer place for sure, but the main thing we want to see is some form of mountain ports once we get there. My hope is that by going to a bit of an easier island, that'll give us more opportunities to see more mountains. But I guess we're going to find out. Oh my goodness, and how majestic do our mountain legends look in this land? Oh, I think this might be the grass mingle? Is that what this is called? It has like every single biome imaginable out here. We have savannas, swamps, grasslands, even a tiny little jungle. Though it also looks like we don't have any mountains to go to. Oh, that's a little bit disappointing. In fact, it looks like we might only have savannas over here. Oh geez, we don't want to bring them there. They are going to die out instantly if they're in the savanna heat. All of our big-bodied creatures, and especially the heat body, if we manage to pull that out with Melody's blessing, we're going to have to do a lot of very, very quick island hopping through the grasslands. But I can't wait to see how our tribe is going to survive here. Maybe this is their way to impress Melody once and for all. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!